Oh, there we go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of, or rather, the first edition proper of the Football versus Life podcast. We did one of these the week before the football season ended, and now we've decided to start another one the week after the season has started because
Timing.
timing, and things happen. My name is Joshua Pemberton, or Pembo, you can call me, and alongside me, as always, looking rather resplendent, I must say, in his retro Liverpool kit, is Mr. Michael Bradshaw. Are we showing off kits first? You
What's up?
first.
What's up? Oh, yes, the beauty from the 89-90 season, as rocked by Sir Kenny when he
Nice.
bagged it home as the player manager. Still probably the best ever player manager
I was gonna
to
say
exist.
I don't think there's been any player manager since that have achieved like quite that
Mm-mm.
level of success.
There's been there's been a few. I mean, they're obviously very rare for good reason. But
Yeah,
yeah, how you doing,
very rare
Josh?
for very good. Not too bad. Just thought I'd show off my little beauty. If you can see, that's my and I've just disappeared. There we go. This is my lead shirt for this season, and the thing that Michael and I have in common is we didn't have to pay over the odds for it, which is nice.
No, no. One of the there are many advantages in living in China, and having access to cheap and illegal goods is one of them.
It
So
is
yes,
probably the best reason to be in China, apart from
yeah.
the fact it's an
Oh,
absolute sweat box at the moment. My God.
mm,
Oh,
yeah.
right.
How
So
much do you pay for yours? Oh,
I
sorry.
paid, so it was 60 for just the shirt, but then I got my name on the back, so 70.
Oh, you didn't get your name, did you? You got your name.
Let me just for the
Why did you
purposes
get
of
your
this,
name?
let me just turn around.
Oh, you just spit. Pembo. Brilliant.
I got
Brilliant.
Pembo 7 on the back. Did you see it?
Did you get the shorts and the socks as well? Go full
No, but
kit
I tell you
wanker.
what, I have got my I am the season when we were in the championship when we got to the playoff final, so our second season in there. Um, I have the dark blue away kit, and my dad bought that shirt, and I've got the shorts that go with it. So essentially, I am almost a full kit wanker.
You are. You are.
Exactly. So today's podcast is essentially we're just gonna jump on the predictions bandwagon because every other channel and whatnot started it, and I think it's a lot of fun. So, but before we do that, the football season started for our teams last week. In case you aren't aware, Michael's a Liverpool fan and I'm a Leeds fan because I need to punish myself on a regular basis. So both our teams played last week. Michael, we'll start with
They
you.
did.
How did you find the result last week?
So first of all, watching football in China is difficult, and I didn't watch the first 15 minutes because I was trying to get a stream. Yeah, VPN troubles, everything, Wi-Fi going out, the whole shebang. When I did come back in, I think Fulham were nearly scoring. We were on the ropes fairly quickly. Um, I since learned from the game that he was our oldest starting 11 since 1994, which,
Wow.
yeah, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Like normally when players reach that sort of age, we either sell them because they're shit or we sell them because they're really good and they're going to a better team. So who knows? Like maybe we're keeping our players now because we're attractive. Um,
There you go.
Fulham just bossed it. They really did. They out Liverpooled Liverpool. They were
They
more
did.
aggressive. They wanted it more. Um, yeah, yeah, they were super. I read a good article that said they attacked the passing lanes between the fullbacks, Liverpool's fullbacks, and our midfield, like not allowing Trent and Robertson to pass into
Mm.
Fabinho, Thiago, and Henderson. And it was, we couldn't get time on the ball. We were just Klopp was having to go at everybody, Allison, Trent, for just like kicking it long constantly and not playing our way. Um, yeah, but Fulham
I
are a
feel
good
like
team.
there'll be
It turns out.
I feel like there'll be those critics who are like, how could a Liverpool team that beat Man City the week before, draw against Fulham? It's like because different teams play different styles, and Fulham are going into the season knowing they're one of the favourites for the drop. So,
Mm.
do you agree with what Klopp said though about that? he felt it. He said he was happy. He was happy with the point, but the performance felt like a defeat.
Yeah, massively. Guardiola said about the World Cup, like you can't win the Premier League before the World Cup starts, but you can certainly lose it.
Yeah,
And like City, well,
that's true. You can't.
just ridiculously
Um.
good this season as they have since.
So, oh, hang on. I think you're.
There we go.
Oh, we're having some
AirPods
technical
fucked
difficulty.
up.
There we go. There we go. He's
Can you
back
hear
now.
me? I
I
can't hear
can.
you now.
You can't hear me.
There we go. Let's come back. No, it was my fault.
Oh, okay. Put these back in. It's all right. Oh, network conditions.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, hang on. Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can.
Awesome. Great. We can edit that out.
Yeah. You
Right.
randomly just sent me a Chinese character on WeChat, by the way. Did you
Did
know
I
you could?
do that?
Yeah.
I, again, my phone has a mind of its own sometimes. Anyway, pressing go. I might keep this in. Actually, it's good. It's funny.
Yeah. Again, another product living in China, cheap fake goods that aren't always
Yeah,
reliable.
exactly. And dodgy Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
dodgy Wi-Fi as well.
Um,
But yeah,
so yeah, how did Leeds go on?
we beat Wolves 2-1, which if we'd have gone into a game like that last season and been 1-0 down 9 times out of 10, we probably would have lost. Although, to be fair, a couple of our good comebacks last season were against Wolves. So we came back
Hmm.
against them last season when we were 2-0 down and with 10 men. So, but no, I watched as much as I could in terms of highlights and whatnot. I had to check the score before I went to sleep, otherwise I wasn't going to sleep. And we won. And by the sound of it, the new signings that played, in particular Brendan Aronson, the American Revolution has started. So bring on
Mm,
Southampton today.
mm.
It's good. It's good. I like the style of football that we've got going on. We're still not exactly secure at the back, which is a Leeds thing in general. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll sort that out. But yeah, no, all in all, I can't complain. I'm extremely happy. Hopefully, we beat Southampton.
Yeah, Ellen Road was rocking.
It
Like,
was.
it was loud.
Yeah, it was. And you see, that's best fans in the land, or up there at least, along with your lot and probably Newcastle. I would say that our two teams in Newcastle are the best in
Yeah,
England.
football's different up north.
It is.
It's just regular. It's more than a religion. It's like life and death.
It is life and well, no. As Bill Shankly said, football is not life and death. It's so much more than that.
Yeah,
Right.
so much more.
So we've got that out of the way. We've reflected on that, and oh yeah. Also, if anyone's interested, I set up a fantasy league, which I can leave in the description at the bottom if anyone's interested in
Yeah.
joining. As Michael joined, unfortunately, I gave him the link a few days after the
Yes, thanks
season
for that.
started. You're welcome. I couldn't have
And
you.
I would have been first, so I'm now
Yeah,
down
exactly,
70.
exactly. It was all planning. I couldn't have you beating me. Just not allowed.
Oh, don't worry. I'll still do that. Don't
You
worry.
probably will. Although to be fair, I have upgraded as before this weekend.
Really, week two transfers already?
Yeah, I did Haaland. I had to. I got Haaland, Nunes, and Jesus as my front three, so
Mm,
it was
nice.
needed. So let's start. I've got a number of categories here in terms of where people are going to finish, who's going to win what and whatnot. So the first thing is, who do you think, Michael, is going to win the Premier League this season?
Win the Premier League. Well, as you can see by my shirt, there is only one team. One team that I think, well, it's only one or two,
It
really.
really is, yeah.
Yeah. I think Tottenham might be a surprise in that. A lot of people are saying that it shouldn't be as top heavy this year. I think they may have a point.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Time will tell. They thought
Mm.
that a few seasons back and
True, true.
happened.
But yeah, I think there's only gonna be one winner of the Premier League,
It's the
and
Scousers.
it's the Scousers, mate.
There we were. Now here we are. uh, I think, honestly, I mean, as much as I would love to say that Liverpool are going to win it, think I'm going to stick my neck out. I think City are going to win. The thing is, this is probably the best chance City have ever had to make it 3 in a row because they haven't done that. They've won 2 in a row, but then the third one they've usually stumbled. So I don't know. I just think, I mean, you've signed Nunes, and Nunes has already proved in the first 2 games off the bench that he can do it. And, one of those goals was against the champions of England. But I just felt, I watched the highlights of City West Ham, and I swear to God, if Kevin De Bruyne just keeps picking out those laser passes to Erling Haaland, no one stands a chance. I am dreading when we play Man City. We lost 7-0 to them last season. I have a horrible feeling it could be like 15.
Yeah, and it's just their consistency, which is like ridiculous.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I find like with great Premier League teams in the past, some of them usually started not so great. It was like the United of the 90s would start mixed, but then from January onwards. Although
Yeah.
hopefully from January onwards this season, Eric Ten Hag is getting his P45.
No, I want them to continue.
Oh yeah, no, we need Agent Ten Hag.
Yes, destroy them from the inside.
I feel sorry for them. Yeah, sorry. If anyone's a United fan, again, as I said last time, you're welcome
Wanker.
to come on the show. You're welcome to come on the show, but my Liverpool colleague is going to rip you a new one there. Said,
Yeah,
done.
I had to put up with it for the first 25 years of my life, so strap yourselves in.
Yeah,
Oh.
there are teams that go through phases where they do badly, and I'm like, oh, I hope they get better. United is not one of those teams. I hope it just continues and continues and carries on and carries on.
Yeah.
Although
So
I should
top
be nice,
four,
my
what do you
father-in-law is a
have?
United fan. What's that?
Top four, what do you have?
Top 4. My top 4 is obviously, well, if we take automatically City, Liverpool, there's 2 of those places done.
You mean Liverpool City?
Or I'm saying City, Liverpool. You're saying Liverpool, City. So whoever's right at
She's
the end.
saying Liverpool City.
I fear I'm not going to win this argument. Sure, for the sake of argument, Liverpool, City, Liverpool. I think Spurs have to finish in the top 4 this season. They've backed Conte, and Conte's got the players he wants. Although I find it kind of awesome that Conte Spurs won 4-1 against Southampton, and none of their new players were even started. Some of them were on the bench, so it's nice to see Tottenham with a bit of strength in depth. So I think Spurs, and I think purely based on the fact that they've signed quite a few, I think Chelsea.
Really? Not
Harlan
Arsenal?
Varley is a beast. Sterling, if they play him properly, will score goals. I think Chelsea will be in with a shout. And I think a sort of honourable mention who will push all the way will be Arsenal. Arsenal, for me, had probably the best transfer window of the summer. That's my general opinion.
Yeah. I just think something seems off about Chelsea.
Something seems off. I mean,
something doesn't feel right.
It's a new era. They're under new ownership after all that, hoo-ha with Russia and whatnot. That's for another video entirely. I think it's complete, say what we like about Roman Abramovich and whatnot, but unless he, was the person signaling to tanks going to Kiev, I don't think he should have been forced or felt under pressure to sell. That's just my general opinion. You can come at me if you wish, people, but that's my general opinion. So yeah, I'm going for City, Liverpool, Spurs, Chelsea. What about you?
So exactly the same, except Liverpool first, of course. Liverpool, City, Tottenham. Like you said, I love their strength in depth that they've got now. Yeah, and then Arsenal.
You gone for Arsenal instead of Chelsea? Nice.
I have.
Nice.
They've bought good,
They have.
proven talent. Yeah. At the other end of the table, I think it's where it's most difficult.
Oh yes, relegation. There's at least one team that I don't think are going to get relegated, but I absolutely worry for them is Leicester.
Yes.
Because they've got strength. They aren't exactly, people are like, oh, they haven't bought anybody. Yeah, but have you seen their squad? Their squad's pretty decent. Like if Vardy's not playing, you can put Daka in goal, up front, not in goal. That would be interesting, but probably not wise.
True, but it's
Imagine.
like that old saying: if you're not moving forward, you're standing still.
Yeah, no, it's
So
true.
like everyone saw you've got 38 games of of knowledge
Heavy
there last
competition.
season. Mm. But yeah,
Exactly.
they got Madison and all these decent
Madison,
players.
Barnes,
Mm.
Vardy, Tielemans, or Fafana. Although I think Tielemans and Fafana won't be Leicester players by the end of the window.
You think that bad? I think
Fafana,
they've
Fafana,
got to keep them.
Chelsea, they have to, but Chelsea, they got the money, and it only takes another failed bid for Wesley Fafana to be like, you know what, I want to go there where I could win trophies. And Tielemans, I reckon Tielemans would fit. I had this thought this morning. I reckon Tielemans would work really well in your midfield.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
we'll get onto that in a
we'll
later
get that
segment.
onto that in a bit. But yeah,
Yeah,
so I don't think Leicester are going to get relegated. A team I do think are going to get relegated, and I really don't want them to, is Forest.
yeah. Oh, so many signings, so many people. It's like
So
10,
many
10 in, 10
signings,
out.
but I watched a podcast during the week. I watched a Football Daily video because Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher on there, and they were saying that they feared for Forest because it was like, you get some teams like Fulham when they went up and they spent 100 million
Mm.
and it didn't work out. It was kind of because Fulham still had players that were cutting it in the Premier League prior to going down, whereas Forest, they haven't been in the Premier League since 1999. That squad
Mm.
is a championship squad. They needed to spend and bring in players. And I tell you what, the players they brought in, there's a couple of really, really decent ones. Like Diva Henderson will
Mm.
steady the ship in terms of goals conceded. And I think Jesse Lingard, it's a win-win. For Lingard, it's a 1-year contract. He can leave at the end of it. And for Forest, they didn't have to pay money for him. And I
I
think
thi-
that that's his level. I think Lingard is incredibly overrated.
yeah, and I think another good one. It was confirmed, I think today, or will be confirmed today, is that Watford forward
Oh,
Dennis.
Dennis.
He was a mainstay of
He was
everyone's
great.
fantasy Premier League team last year.
He
It was
was.
like four million or something, and he was banging them in. So
Yeah.
yeah, he seemed like a good signing.
But if you're a player who's been relegated with a Premier League team and a promoted team sign you, don't you think that there's the risk that I'm joining another relegation battle?
Well, he's been there, done it.
Yeah,
Although
true.
Watford did go down, so
Yeah. But
don't
to be
know.
fair, he can't be held responsible. He did his job, which was score goals.
Mm,
He can't help it that the goalkeeper Ben Foster is more interested in making videos and
yeah,
whatnot.
signing
I've
for
just
Spotify.
offended Ben Foster. Sorry, I love his content. Um, so Forest for me, another one I think will go down.
Everton.
I don't think Everton, but I also
Mm,
don't think Frank will be in a job by
true,
January. We
true.
both agree on that.
Yeah, I
I
think it's a
think,
toss up
although
between him and Brendan Rodgers.
you think Rogers,
Him or Brendan, yeah.
you think Brendan, that's interesting. It's amazing how managers start off as like, oh my God, they should be in a bigger team and blah, blah, blah. And then after one bad season, it's your first for the sack.
Mm,
Um, a team I kind of fear for, I guess, is Southampton. That's another thing I've heard floating around. But at the same time, I don't because I like Southampton's transfer strategy this season of signing youth.
mm.
I like who they've signed. I like their goalkeeper because he's the Irish number one called Gavin Bazunu. And it says a lot when a national team goalkeeper was on the books at Rochdale and Portsmouth.
Yeah.
That says a lot. That's why I love the Irish national team. It's like we've got these guys who played for Everton and then this guy who played for Rochdale.
Yeah. And they've got a good
Wonderful.
manager, Raf the Alpine Klopp. Yeah,
Yes.
I like him.
Hasenhuttl.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. He always seems, there always seems to be a point in the season when his job's at risk and then he always finds a way
Mm.
to save it.
Yeah.
So there's that. Who came up last season? It was Forest, Fulham,
Um,
and there's someone else that got promoted. I'm trying to
Forest
think.
Fulham and
And I know that they won on the opening game. Bournemouth, that's it.
yeah.
Bournemouth is one of my favourites to go down. Forest, Bournemouth, I think will go down. Although they've just again signed a couple of decent players in the last week.
I don't know. They seem good. Scott Parker seems like a good fit.
Yeah.
Um,
It's hard to predict.
Yeah.
It's hard to predict who's going to go down because
But
you
if
know
we're
you could.
wrong, we're wrong in like 9 months. I suppose.
Yeah, basically. If we're wrong, we're wrong. So at the moment, I'm saying Forest, as much as I don't want them to.
Mm,
Stick my neck out and say Bournemouth, and I think I'm not going to say Fulham because if Fulham play how they did against Liverpool for the rest of the season, they're going to be fine.
yeah.
And I think Marco Silva doesn't get enough credit because at Hull, when he was at Hull, he almost pulled off the Great Escape with
Mm,
Hull City. He was doing really well at Watford before Everton intervened and he got
mm,
fired by Watford. Then he ends up at Everton. They back him. Doesn't go very well. I think Fulham is his level of team. And I think that's why I think Fulham will stay up. In terms of the third team for me to go down, well, I mean, there's so many I could pick from. And this is going to be very controversial. And I apologize in advance. I think Crystal Palace.
you think?
I'm putting
It's
Palace
got to be
near that
someone.
edge.
It's a shame because I like Patrick Vieira. I think
I do as
he's a
well.
good coach. They were playing some good stuff last season.
They were.
Still relying on what's
Zaha.
his face? Yeah, Zaha. Can Colin Gallagher, can Colin Conor
Connor.
Gallagher do it again?
I'm sure
I
Colin
Colin.
Gallagher's great.
Can
All
I
right,
Conor
Colin.
Gallagher? Can his dad do it again?
Yeah.
Was
So, yeah, who
mm.
are you thinking?
I had basically the same except Everton. I think they're in
You think Everton?
big trouble. Big
I
trouble.
mean, they've they've started making a few signings, but are they going to be the players that keep Everton? Because we have to
Yeah.
accept that the Everton, when they got their ownership, had this vision of we're going to be a top six club. Now they have to face facts. They are mid-table at best at the moment.
At best, they'd be delighted with that. I don't
Yeah,
know what the fans, what the ownership, what the players saw in Frank Lampard that thought, yeah, let's do this again. Yeah,
yeah,
you really did well. Right.
yeah.
I mean,
And
they got
also they
no
sold their best
forwards.
striker. So,
Yeah.
although to be fair, we
Um,
can't talk. We sold our two best players. We'll get to that in a bit.
but yeah, I think Everton. And for it's unfortunate, I'm one of the Liverpool fans who would like Liverpool to come first, Everton to come second.
Yeah, I think that's the case with most. I thought apparently, from what I've been told
Redundancy.
by a friend of mine who would love to come on this podcast, by the way, his name's Jimmy. Shout out to Mr. Nuttall. He's a Liverpool fan. He says that the Merseyside derby is a friendly derby.
I would call it friendly.
But in terms of not into on the pitch, clearly not. But in terms
Yeah.
of like, you don't really hear of any riots between Everton and Liverpool fans.
No, I mean it's you can have one family's got like 50 Liverpool and Everton.
Yeah, and
Like
also
Jamie
it says a
Carragher
lot
grew up
when
in
yeah,
Everton.
it says a lot when players like Jamie Carragher, Robbie Fowler
Mm,
were Everton fans.
yeah.
Wasn't Stevie G an Everton fan as well? No, he was a born red. All right, fair enough.
So yeah, never mind. Everton, Forest, maybe Leicester. Yeah, that's how I go.
It says again the thing that worries me about Leicester rather than the lack of signings is the fact that all right, the outfield positions are pretty good, solid. A few additions are needed. But it's the fact that they've already settled on the fact that Danny Ward's going to be their first choice keeper. And it's like, this is a guy who has only ever been first choice for 2 seasons of football. One was many, many moons ago. The last time he was a first choice keeper was the season Huddersfield got promoted because he was there on
Mm,
loan.
mm,
And it's like, I'm sorry, Brendan. He's not Casper Schmeichel.
no.
And also, whoever sanctioned that deal to allow Casper Schmeichel to leave needs firing.
Well, I think it's he just wanted to go. Who doesn't want to live in Nice?
That's true. That's true. I'd take Nice over Leicester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What's, all right, we're getting into the competitions now. The
the competition.
competition. Yeah, so the FA Cup is my next one on my list.
Oh, who's going to win the FA Cup?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't tell me about that.
Oh, well, there you go.
Nothing prepared for that.
Doesn't matter. Off the cuff. You think I have things prepared? I make it all formulates in the think tank. That's how I work.
Hmm. I think if teams like Tottenham, Newcastle, those Midland teams, like as long as they don't sacrifice the Premier League, I
Yeah,
think they've got a big chance for it.
I'm
To
so glad
really
you
go
said
for it,
Newcastle.
really go for the cups.
I'm so glad you said Newcastle because I think Newcastle FA Cup. That's what I'm going. I'm going to stick my neck out.
Yeah, like imagine Wembley, like all the Geordies up there going nuts.
Yeah, just it would just be nice to see the Magpies win a trophy because I don't know anybody who hates Newcastle. You can't.
Mm, yeah.
You disappeared for a minute. Then it was amazing.
I was just cleaning my camera. It's
It has to be
fucking so
done.
dirty.
Has to be done. I did the same. So I'm going FA Cup Newcastle United. That's my
Mm. League Cup?
League Cup. I mean, it's probably going to be City, isn't it? Let's be completely honest. But if we're going to go for that sort of teams that should take it seriously, I'm going to say Spurs. Spurs and Newcastle for the trophies.
Mm.
What about you?
Hmm. I don't know. Why can't teams like Leeds go for it, or
Because I think after last season, when we came close to being relegated, I would like a season of being solid in the league. Then I would like to worry about a trophy.
yeah, but didn't you say you would rather you win the trophy than stay in the Premier League?
Mm. I may have said that. I may have been high at the time. I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, to be fair, like if you ask any Wigan Athletic fan, they'll tell you that just because they got relegated the season they did, they won the FA Cup, so therefore it wasn't the worst season in the world. But you know,
Mm. But what it leads to kind of is.
yeah, it kind of is. Like I said, I mean, because at one point last season, I genuinely thought we are done for. Well, at one point last season, I thought we're safe. Then Burnley started winning, and I thought we're screwed. And then obviously the final day happened, and Newcastle did us a favour. That's why I want nothing but success for them. Thank you, Toonami. You're very, very nice. Um, yeah, but I mean, I feel like, and this is just the nature of football, particularly with Premier League teams, it's just all about staying in the league and whatnot. No one really
Mm.
cares about the domestic cups anymore, which is sad because the FA Cup is one of my favourite competitions.
Yeah. I
I
think
love it.
the clubs only care if they're in the semi-final.
Yeah,
If you got a chance of winning it, then yeah, great. The extra 20 million or 10 million,
yeah.
yeah, great. Perfect. But if you get to like the quarterfinals and you've had replays in there
I
or
don't know
penalty
if replays are a
shootout,
thing anymore. I think replays are a thing up to, I think it's the quarterfinals and then they scrap them.
mm,
I think they should
okay.
scrap replays anyway. I
Yeah.
think you should have a pot so if it gets to the FA Cup third round, there should be a pot specifically for home sides consisting of football league teams
Yes, definitely.
because and conference teams.
Although I do enjoy like when I was going to crew matches, like getting drawn against Liverpool, especially
Yeah,
Liverpool, like the Premier League teams, like that away day is fun.
it is good, but I mean in terms of
The
revenue,
financials, yes. Yeah.
finances, because you got to think about it. However much a Premier League team makes from winning an FA Cup third round tie, that'll see them like a third of somebody's wages.
Mm.
Whereas that for a small conference team, non-league, that's their season budget.
Yeah.
That could go into reinvesting into certain facilities, which goes to show the huge disparity between the top league and everyone else.
Mm.
That's why the gap between promoted teams and the established Premier League is is insanity,
Mm.
absolute insanity.
Yeah.
And speaking of wealthy, bureaucratic uh, um, things, Champions League. Who are we going for the Champions League?
I think it's been too long since an English team won it. I do like Bayern. Now they've
Yeah,
got a team player, like
Mane.
Mane, like Lewandowski is obviously like one of the world's best, one of the greatest footballers, but he was quite selfish.
Yeah, he was.
Mane, I don't think you can peg him. in that
No.
role.
Are you disappointed? Would you have preferred Mane to stay? If you'd have had the choice between selling Mane and signing Nunes, but Mane stays, what would you have?
I think if I think if it's the other one, it's Diaz that I'm more concerned about. Like Diaz is an amazing player, but Mane just had that goal scoring knack. Like Nunes has got it. Nunes, like I'm not worried about him, but it's Diaz that I am worried about. Like, there are
Yeah.
many times that he just doesn't finish, or it's that final product that Mane bang bang bang. He would do it week in week out.
Well, we'll see. He's only been there for like 7 months, and he looked pretty good
True.
when he arrived.
Yeah, he looks great, but just that get some goals, man. Get
Yeah,
some
get
goals.
some have that killer instinct.
Mm.
So you're thinking an English team, and I'm assuming it's the red side of Liverpool.
Well, I would hope, but I think if City get it, then that could mean the end of Guardiola. So
You think?
he might just like retire or leave or like accomplished everything here. Which
Yeah.
I wouldn't be too upset about if he just
Yeah, because it'd be
mysteriously
funny.
fucks off.
Yeah. Like, bye bye.
Thanks. See
I
ya.
don't. I'm sorry, City fans. I don't think you're going to win the Champions League. I'm sorry. I this is probably going to sound really boring. I think Real Madrid are going to win it again.
Really again?
Yeah, I loved watching Real last season. I liked
Nah.
like I accept that had it not been for Thibaut Courtois, it would have been a cricket score. But at the end of the day, you didn't take your chances in the final, and the one opportunity they had, they stuck it away. And just like for me, that I don't even think the final wasn't their best game. Their best game was the semi final against Manchester City when they turned it
Mm,
around. Because about what is it? About 75 minutes, it's looking like City have buried them. They're going
mm.
through, and then up pops Karim Benzema, who I tell you what, he's a player that I've actually started to admire a bit in the past few. I never used to be a Karim Benzema fan. I was never in on Team Benzema, but it's amazing what happens when
Yeah.
the crybaby Ronaldo's not there.
Yeah, you can't argue with his returns. Yeah.
He scored in the I think he scored in the European Super Cup final against Frankfurt during the week, and he's now second in the all-time Real Madrid scoring charts. The only person left to beat is Ronnie. So
Oh.
hopefully he does that, and I reckon he's going to get the Ballon d'Or this year.
Mm. Well, hasn't
Benzema,
he? Didn't he already?
no, they haven't. The Ballon d'Or's not yet. I don't think anyway.
It may have been something else then that he won.
He probably won like European Player of the Year or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that might have been it.
Maybe. So that's my prediction for the Champions League. You're going for Liverpool or City. I'm going for Real Madrid. The next tournament is the Europa League. The Europa League's such a hard one to call.
I why don't you say what you think and I'll do some quick Googling.
Some quick. Well, there's a couple of options. But I think I'm going to stick my neck out. I reckon it could. I reckon Arsenal. I'm going to back Arsenal because that's a tournament that they're in that they really should take seriously. Because if
Hmm.
you win that, you're into the group stage of the Champions League. So that's why I really wanted Rangers to win it last year as well. But I think Rangers have got to play PSV in the Champions League qualifiers. I like that in Scottish football, the winners of the league now get group stage of the Champions League. I think that's absolutely fair, and that's what it should be.
Yeah, definitely. Especially because they're all mad up there. Like,
Another team, actually, which may influence your decision, I also think Roma.
yeah.
Roma have had one hell of a summer window.
Mm.
Genie Wijnaldum is there. Pablo Dybala is there.
Mm.
And the best thing is, Wijnaldum's on loan. Dybala, they didn't pay. He cost less than a packet of Freddos. Which, for those of you who are not English like we are, Freddos are a chocolate bar that are expensive now. It's like 30p. It's outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. Have you done some googling?
Yeah, there are some good teams. There's some good teams. What, Marseille, Bayern,
Oh,
Leverkusen,
Marseille have
Tottenham.
Sanchez. Bayer
Yeah,
Leverkusen.
Celtic, Arsenal, United, Napoli. It's stacked.
It is stacked.
Sevilla,
Oh,
Rangers.
actually, Sevilla always win it.
True, true. Um, yeah, I think it's impossible
It
to
is.
predict. Lots of good mid-wing teams. If I was to throw someone that I would like to win, it would be one of these teams. Like I am a sucker for a Turkish team. Those fans are just ridiculous. So like
Yeah.
Fenerbahce or Galatasaray, ooh, yeah.
Oh,
You
oh.
wouldn't want to you
Don't
wouldn't,
utter Galatasaray in the presence of a Leeds fan. Oh,
you wouldn't want to play them in a final. Definitely some people going home not uh definitely people going home not the same way that they arrived at their
yeah,
destination.
probably in an ambulance with a bloody stab wound in the
Yeah.
chest. I can just see that happening.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to go back to the Premier League now. I'm not going to ask you about the Conference League because, to
Yeah,
be fair,
please
not
don't.
even I know much about that. I'll be nice. Who do you think in the Premier League is going to be Player of the Season?
Player of the season. Where did I? Okay. So obvious ones, of course. I think let's
De
take them out.
Bruyne.
Nunes and Haaland. Um, let's just remove them. I
Yeah.
think uh, a player that will, I think, have a good season. If Jack Grealish stops playing like he should have done last season, is Phil Foden.
Yes.
As soon as he came on against Liverpool in the Community Shield, like City were just a different beast entirely. I think
I
he's a
like Phil.
wicked player, super quick. He's got that pass. He can smash the ball in. So yeah, I do like Foden.
Yeah,
And then
I like Phil as well.
a slight one, maybe for Young Player of the Year, Emil Smith Rowe for Arsenal. He had a great back end of last season.
He did.
Um, and it does surprise me. I don't really think he'll get the game time, seeing as who they signed. But if there's a few injuries that go his way, I think he could really, yeah, really get it.
Nice. I think my player of the season, and I'll do a young player as well. Thank you for bringing that up. I think my player of the season, it's going to be De Bruyne for me. I know it sounds
Mhm.
obvious, but he is possibly the most complete player in the Premier League that there has been since Steven Gerrard and Lampard. He can do everything. He doesn't score quite the same amount of goals as um, Gerrard and Lampard did,
No, but he
but just
doesn't
his
need to.
he doesn't need to exactly. Just his overall play is fantastic, and his range of passing
Mm,
is super. Like I said, I saw that pass to Haaland last
mhm.
weekend. Chef's kiss, chef's kiss,
Dirty.
amazing. In terms of young player, do you know what? I'm going to represent my boys. I'm going to go for Brendan Aronson because he's technically young. Although, actually, there is an Arsenal player that I'm also going to put in, but it's not Emil Smith Rowe. William Saliba,
Yeah,
the man who has been out on loan
yeah.
for the
Was it
last
three
3 seasons.
seasons?
Yeah, he got Player of
Finally.
the Year at Marseille.
Yeah, yeah.
So
He had some good times last season. Yeah, he looked good
yeah.
against Palace. They played Palace, right?
Yes,
Yeah, he looked good. He did
yeah,
look
he looked
good.
really good.
Mm.
Who do you think is going to? Who do you think looks like they could be the best signing of the league?
Again, taking out Nunez and Haaland because I
Yeah.
think they're just so obvious. Um, Best. Why don't you go? Let me have a think.
So for me, I'm looking to. I'm going to look sort of mid-table-ish. I'm looking at Fulham. They've just signed Bernd Leno from Arsenal, the
Mm,
goalkeeper, who I think will be an absolutely genius signing because he's a quality goalkeeper. You know, regardless of how Arsenal treated him with the fact they had Aaron Ramsdale, he's a quality goalkeeper and he will have a point to prove, not just to the rest of the Premier League, but also to the German national side as well. That
mm.
if they need someone to step in, he is the man. So I would say Bernd Leno is up there for me. Another one that I think will be a good signing and already looks decent is Sven Botman at Newcastle,
Yeah.
the centre back, wanted by the likes of Milan and other huge teams. But he's at the Toon, and
Mm,
he gives some defensive solidity. Plus, it allows Fabian Schär to rock absolute thundercunt strikes in the back of the net.
mm.
So that's for
Yeah.
me. I mean, if I had to pick a striker who I think will be signing best signing of the season, Gabriel Jesus. I think that's an absolute masterstroke what Arsenal have pulled off.
Mm.
Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, but Jesus didn't play as much at City, and Zinchenko didn't play as much." Like, yes, have you seen City's team?
Yeah. There's a reason why.
There's a reason why they didn't play very much.
Yeah,
But
because Cancelo exists.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Cancelo was amazing and can
Yeah.
play right back and left back. And then they've just signed this youngster called Sergio Gomez. Now Haaland's arrived at City and Alvarez. But
Mm.
Jesus, he
Ooh.
has the ability.
You reminded me of that Alvarez. Yuck.
Yeah,
He is one tricky mother.
really.
Yeah, he's again. I keep coming back to everything about the Community Shield, but my God, when he came in again, City were transformed. Um,
Was he
yeah, he
good?
looks like a really, really good player, and he's super young. Um, I think another good one, if they actually play him right, could be Christian Eriksen.
Yes.
Like if they like when he was dropping deeper on Sunday against Brighton, I think United were better.
Yeah.
Like if they just throw McFred in the bin, buy
Yeah.
someone else, buy like Declan
Yes.
Rice, partner Rice and Ericsson together, and I think they would have a good
Well,
team.
they're trying to sign Adrian Rabiot from Juve, which may have been a decent signing like 5 or so years ago,
But
but
it's like you remember when Everton bought like 9 players all to play in the same position? I
yes.
just feel like Ericsson, Rabiot, Fernandez, they all do the same thing. Like
Yeah.
you need a bruiser. He's not a bruiser. Like he's a box to box, like spread it out type of player. There's
Yeah.
not the they need a freaking guy that's gonna take nails to the face. Like we'll
Like Roy
happily
Keane.
yeah, we'll happily have his fingernails removed if that's what it takes to win the game.
It's like it's and it's the fact that some of like they went in for a bid for Marco Arnautovic,
Yeah.
which was just like, what has
48
happened?
years old, spent some time
Yeah,
in China.
yeah, now
Oh,
plays in
no.
Italy. Why would you want to leave Italy for Manchester?
Yeah. Was
I've been
Angel
to
Doreen.
Manchester. It's not bad, but I know I would like Italy more.
Yeah. Going to where Angel Di Maria's wife called the back of the fridge.
Is that what she called it?
Yeah,
Bit
Manchester's like the
harsh.
back of the fridge. It's
Bit
constantly
harsh.
hidden. You don't want to go there.
Bit harsher parts of Manchester I quite like. But anyway, so we're thinking best signing. So I'm thinking best signing Jesus, Leno, Botman. Those are mine. You're thinking Ericsson if they play him properly,
Hmm. But
whatnot.
if we go as a team, like I think Tottenham and Newcastle, like Tottenham added depth, like you said
They
before.
did.
Like quality positions. Everyone's gone on about Perisic on the
Yes.
fantasy, and he never even played. Richarlison, I think he's suspended. That's why.
Richarlison is suspended
Yeah.
because I think it was the game against Chelsea, which I watched, where Chelsea let us down and Everton won 1-0. He picked up a flare and threw it back into the crowd as part of
Yes,
the
that was it.
celebration.
Yeah, yeah. And Newcastle, like it's obvious they've got big money.
Yeah.
Like they're happily spending out 30 million and 20 million here, but they didn't.
Ah, but everyone's predicting that Newcastle were going to spend like hundreds and hundreds of millions. But like, luckily, the owners are like, no, financial fair play exists.
Well, he will, but it just in incremental. Like
Yeah.
it's not going to be immediately to 200 million. But
Yeah,
like
exactly.
City never went out and did like 200 million or 100 million on one player. It was all like 30 million, and then next season the
Yeah.
biggest one's 40 million, then a 50.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's
Exactly.
exciting teams like that existing. I think the Premier League needs more teams like
I've enjoyed watching Spurs' transfer business. I think Perisic doesn't matter that he's 33. He's still got quality, and I think he'll be great. I think Richarlison. The question is though, will Richarlison play? Where does he fit?
I think they will because they've always got that Kane and Son, and then who else? Like more,
But Kulazevsky
yeah. It's just depth. You
is.
know, they're not in the Champions League,
They
right?
are in the Champions League.
They are in the Champions League.
Yeah.
So yeah, Liverpool played 66 games last season. You can't have 11 players playing
Yeah.
66 games. Like you
No,
need to spread it
I
around.
see. I think the signing of Jed Spence as well, young English right back, who I don't know why Middlesbrough loaned him to Championship rivals, but hey ho, this is Middlesbrough, no one cares. Joking, Middlesbrough fans, joking. Um, I think Jed Spence is a good signing. I think Yves Bissouma from Brighton, that's a
Mm,
good one. Absolute
yeah.
tank in midfield.
Mm.
Who else did they sign? Who else did they sign? They signed
It's a Villa player, fullback. What's his name?
they got
What about
Spence. They got
Newcastle?
huh?
You know about Newcastle?
Yeah, what about Spurs?
Oh. Yeah, Richarlison. You've said all of them, haven't you?
Pretty much.
Richarlison,
And I know they
Perisic.
got Fraser Forster, but that's a backup keeper. That
Mm.
was needed. Who do you think is going to be a massive flop?
Signing wise,
Yeah, signing wise, and then
I don't know. I don't know what it is about Chelsea, but I just think that Raheem Sterling and Chelsea are just gonna.
do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. Something about, and especially the way Tuchel plays, like he's very Mourinho.
Yeah,
I will win by destroying you. Like, I will win because we won't lose. Like that sort of mentality. Like Klopp and Guardiola think we will win because we will score more goals than you.
yeah,
Uh,
basically.
Tuchel's like I will just won't concede. So I don't know. Yeah, they need to sign a striker, and I think if he's
But
playing a false nine,
the problem is if they get a yeah, if they get a striker, don't give them the number 9 shirt. Because apart
anything
from
but the number
Drogba and
nine.
Costa, it's
Yeah,
good. I mean,
anything but
Timo
that.
Werner. It says a lot. Timo Werner's now gone back to Leipzig.
Yeah, and he said thank you. I had one of the
Yeah,
best seasons. Like, oh, just forget it, Timo. Just
no, no,
sign.
no,
Just
you
forget
didn't,
it.
Timo. Just go back to Germany
Yeah.
for less than what they sold you for. Fantastic.
Yeah.
God, I'm trying to think who I think might be a flop. In terms of signings, don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be any of my boys. I tell you what, I would have said had Nunes not had the impact he's had off the bench, I would Nunes for me looked like it could have been. Oh, and Thunder is developing over here.
Yeah. So,
Is it happening for you as well? Fair enough.
of course.
Um, I knew for I don't know. Until he scored 2 goals, I was going to say Haaland because I would have found it
Really?
hilarious. I would have found it hilarious. You think
Okay,
about
for
it,
meme's sake.
55 million. Yeah, for a meme's sake, it would have been hilarious. But no, I don't think he's going to flop. I kind of wish United had signed Frankie de Jong. Then I would have said Frankie de Jong,
Mm,
even though I like Frankie de Jong and I hope he ends up at Chelsea and not United.
mm.
But I'm
Another
trying to.
one, that Martinez. Was it Lissandro Martinez?
Yes.
5'9". Centre
Thing
back.
is, thing is, like, and this is based on football games. I've seen him on football games as a holding midfielder and then as a centre back. But yeah, 5'9" as a centre back is not ideal.
Yeah, and people keep saying, well, Fabio Cannavaro was 5'9". Yeah, but he was Fabio Cannavaro.
Yes,
Not just so what? Like you
exactly.
can't just say, yeah, but so
One
is
of
he.
these things is not like the other. This is Fabio
Yeah,
Cannavaro, and this is Lisandro Martinez.
yeah.
Exactly. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Dare I say it? I feel like even though we've said that Forest have signed, some decent players, I feel like some of them look like. But I think that what's his name, Taiwo Awoniyi,
Mm,
who used to be on the books at Liverpool,
yeah.
on the books didn't play. It's kind of, I see that not working out very well. I see that being a one-season wonder, and that just ending badly.
I do want teams like that in the Premier League, though.
I do
We
as
talked about
well.
this on the last pod.
Yeah, we did.
Nuts Forest, they just belong in
They do. Not Forest. You think Premier League, you think Forest. It's like
there. Mm,
I wouldn't mind it if Blackburn came back to the Prem.
yeah.
After
Or like a
their
Derby or
yeah.
mm,
Dare I say it, I wouldn't mind if Coventry City came back to the Prem.
non-league now. Non-league.
They're not non-league.
Wait, no, who was it? I saw
Oldham.
No, it was like a Premier League team that's now non-league.
Yeah, Oldham.
It was old. It's
Yeah,
older.
yeah. Oldham were one of the founding members of the Premier League. They are the first former
Jesus,
Premier League side to be in the non-league.
that's crazy.
They've just been bought by new ownership though, which is good. Get rid of that Moroccan twazzock.
So do
About
you want to move
time.
on to your next segment, the sign
First
any
for the
player?
sack.
Oh, first for the. Oh yeah,
First
sorry.
for the sack, and then we've got one quick fire thing to round things up. First for the sack, Lampard.
Yeah, good
We're in agreement.
riddance. Good
Right.
riddance.
Yes. Bye bye, Frank. Go back to the championship. That's your level. The only reason you did well at Chelsea in the first season is because you had to use youngsters and you weren't allowed to
Mm.
sign it. Because think about it, the moment he was given a paycheck, transfer budget, Ziyech, Werner, Pulisic, how has that worked out?
Mm,
Not very well.
yeah.
All right, so now to round things off, it's kind of a quick fire thing. So I have decided that we should pick, if we were managers, who we have to look at every Premier League team that isn't ours and one player that we would sign. And no, for Manchester United, I will not accept the Tea Lady as an answer.
The T-boy.
No, not even the Tea Boy. I don't even want to accept Cristiano Ronaldo's right toe.
How about the guy who shines Eric Ten Hag's head?
That could potentially work. So, first up on the list is Arsenal.
Mm,
Who would
Party.
you? Huh?
Thomas Party.
You'd sign Thomas Partey.
Yeah, good.
I I said that I would sign Martin Odegaard, but I also think I wouldn't mind having Kieran Tierney because left back at Leeds
Mm,
is a bit of a problem for
yeah,
us.
can't go wrong with them.
And they can't go wrong at all. Next up, Aston Villa.
For old time's sake, Coutinho.
Yeah, Coutinho.
The
I
man, the
I
man
said
who started it all, bring him back.
I said John McGinn.
Yeah, I was
John McGinn.
thinking about John McGinn, and then I remembered. Oh yeah, Coutinho exists. Yeah, let's bring him
Yeah,
back.
it's like wait a second, Coutinho exists. We'll go for him. Next up is Brentford. Actually,
Mm.
no. Next up is Bournemouth. Sorry.
I honestly couldn't think of anyone for Bournemouth. I
Uh,
even went on their squad list, and I was like, I don't know enough about Bournemouth.
I'll take.
Maybe
I'll take.
Scott Parker in the coaching department.
I'll take their newest defensive signing, Marco Sensini, because he's pretty decent.
Or
Uh,
how about their owner? He seems really dodgy and also Russian. But seemed
yeah, he
to
hasn't been forced to sell.
yeah, seemed to
Um,
get away with existing.
exactly. Brentford,
Tooney,
Tony. Yeah,
yeah.
same. I picked Ivan Tony. Brighton.
Lamptey.
I put Lamptey as
Yeah,
well.
he's really tricky, man. Especially with everyone saying about Liverpool, like, Trent isn't good defensively. Lamptey maybe also the same problem.
Yeah,
Stick Trent in midfield, get Lamptey, and then there we go. Boom.
yeah. Just I feel like with wing backs like Alexander Arnold and Lamptey, like just stick them further up front.
Yeah,
Let them
like
just
Gareth
bomb.
Bale.
Let them just bomb exactly like they did with Gareth Bale. That was just a
Mm,
genius thing to do. Next on the agenda is Chelsea.
mm. I couldn't decide between Kante or Thiago Silva.
I said Christian Pulisic purely because he's American, and that's kind of the direction we're going in.
True.
And I like Christian Pulisic.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace.
I think let's just see what Klopp can do with Zaha.
Zaha's not a bad one. Oh
Let's see
God, I
what Klopp
originally was
can
going to
do.
say Mark Guehi, which is their solid centre back they've got. But now you've said that, actually, Zaha at Leeds. Yeah, I could
Mm,
see it. I could see it. That works for me. Who's next on the list? I think because there isn't a team to get Everton.
mm. I really like that Gordon, Anthony
Yeah,
Gordon.
I thought I said either Anthony Gordon or Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah. It's just never fit in Calvert-Lewin.
That's true. He
That's
never is.
problem.
What do we got? Fulham is next.
Pereira I went for.
Andreas Pereira.
Yeah.
Burn Leno. I'm going for Burn Leno or dare I say it, Mitrovic.
Yeah, I think he's a good player for you. I think he would fit well.
I think he would as well. Bang him in.
Mm.
Who's next on the list after Fulham?
Leeds.
It's Leeds. Oh well,
Yes.
who would you sign from Leeds?
After a bit of research, I wanted to get this right. I don't know if he played at the weekend, but your new winger, Sinistera,
Oh yeah, no, he didn't play at the weekend, but he
he
should
looks
be.
good
He,
though.
he does look good, doesn't he?
He does
Yeah,
look good. It might just be a repeat of Rafinha.
I hope so. But hopefully he sticks around. But this is the thing. I'm glad you brought Leeds up because I just want to say I'm getting really, really annoyed by people saying, oh, like these two-bit journalists, Gary Neville, I'm talking to you. Oh, I think Leeds have had a bad transfer window because they sold Phillips and Rafinha. Right, here's the thing. Calvin Phillips was injured for most of last season, so didn't play. Two, we made he's from the academy, so to get 50 million for him is amazing. And also, our chairman admitted that we had to sell Rafinha to reinvest in the squad. Now, hopefully, on the 2nd of September, Barcelona don't pay that money and then we can sue them and get even more.
I don't think you're getting that money anytime soon.
No, well, apparently the deadline is the 2nd of September.
Yeah, but for what? Like it's all done in
Uh,
installments now, right?
I, it's either something or other. Whatever the agreement is, I want it.
Mm,
But I think we've had a great window. So yeah, sinister for you. So that means for me, Leicester,
mm,
Jamie Vardy or Tielemans.
I was the same Tillemans. Although I just seem to be getting central midfielders.
Trying to I've not got any defenders yet, really. So,
Yeah.
uh, next up is your lot, Liverpool. Or who would I say? I mean, this probably isn't going to surprise you. Nostalgic reasons. James Milner. I'll take Milner.
Really?
Yeah, I don't care. The man
James,
may be
why?
man may be 36, but
Of all the players, Salah, Diaz,
nah,
Nunes, fucking
Salah
Van
wouldn't
Dijk,
work at Salah
Trent.
wouldn't work at Leeds. Find out. I tell you what, though, actually, I wouldn't say no to Joe Gomez. Give him some first team football.
Why? Why? When you could take Van Dijk, arguably the best defender in the
I'm
world.
trying to be as realistic as possible here. Van Dyke wouldn't we wouldn't even be able to afford Van Dyke's foot.
Yeah, but this isn't about realism, is it? Like Liverpool are never going to get Anthony Gordon or
Fine, if I'm gonna
Stevie
go from
Wonder.
beyond the realms of realism, um, I'd, I'd probably take Salah, Salah or Trent
That's better. That's
or Robertson.
let's aim for the stars.
Yeah, hell, even Hendo.
Yeah.
Hendo. Who is next? I believe it's Manchester City is next.
Mm,
Haaland.
mm.
Take Haaland because he's technically a Leeds fan.
Yes, yes, he's got history. Yeah.
Yeah, born in
Just
Leeds,
put
born.
just put De Bruyne in that midfield. He doesn't have to do anything defensively. Just needs a ping for Salah,
Yes.
Diaz, and Nunes all day, every day.
There
We
you
will
go.
never lose a game.
Uh, United.
Just for meme's sake, Rashford. I was umming and ahhing between Sancho and Rashford. Again, just think what Klopp could do with Rashford. Like a good team, solid. He's got a
Yeah.
role. Don't put him as number 9. Get him on the wing. Like, oh, that would be scary what he would do in our team.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind a Jadon Sancho. I actually wouldn't mind Bruno Fernandez, to be honest.
Hmm. Although he does seem to be on the downward trajectory.
I mean, you've got Ronaldo in the team, of course he is,
Hmm.
because Ronaldo is holier than thou, apparently. Newcastle United.
The Castle. Again, another central midfielder like Gumieres.
Guimaraes. Oh
Gumieres.
yes.
Gumieres. Yeah, again,
Yes.
another person that helped me last year in fantasy.
Um,
Um,
I'm going for Botman. I need some defenders in my thing. Did I
yeah,
put
could be
Botman in
wrong.
my fantasy team? I don't think I did. I might have done. I'll have to recheck.
Mhm.
Who's that? Nottingham Forest.
I went for Dennis. Leonard
I'm going
Dennis.
for Brennan Johnson because that boy is a talented youngster,
Mm.
talented Welsh international who
I went with
talks about.
Dennis. I went with Dennis just because he just signed, so it's in and out.
Yeah, nice. In, then come to Liverpool.
Bye bye.
I stopped at Nottingham for 5 minutes. Who's next after
Southampton.
Southampton? James Ward-Prowse for me.
Yeah.
Free kicks.
Ridiculous. Good player. I
Yeah.
went for Kyle Walker Peters.
Nice. Kyle Walker-Peters is underrated.
Again, just to free up Trent. And
Yeah,
I'm obsessed with getting Trent out of right back. I
I
I
think it
don't
needs
I
to
don't
happen.
I don't care that he's not the greatest defender. I don't care. Like people keep complaining that Liverpool don't have a creative midfielder. Yes, we do. We play him at right back.
Score some pretty decent goals
Problem
as well.
solved. Problem solved. We don't need
Yeah,
to spend money on a new midfielder. Let's put our right back there.
let's get a new right back and then put Trent in midfield.
Yeah,
So there you go. You basically should be in charge of transfers at Liverpool. They're missing a trick by not hiring you.
exactly.
Tottenham.
Son.
Do you know what? Yeah, Son for me. I mean, I was thinking Kane, but no, Son for me as well.
Mm,
Or Kulusevski, but I
mm,
think I'll go with Son. Are
yeah.
we at the W's now?
We are the West Ham.
Oh, we're at West Ham. West Ham. Jared Bowen or Declan Rice. Jared Bowen for me
Mm.
because he's Yorkshire.
I couldn't decide between Antonio or Rice. I think both of them would do well at Liverpool.
Antonio
Um,
is a bit ancient though.
he is, but I just like him. I like the fact that he was a right back.
He was, and now he's the
I
all-time
love that.
top scorer.
Again, Trent.
Yeah,
I'm
Trent.
saying put him in midfield. Why don't we just put him at front?
Yeah, right. You just have Salah, Nunes, and Trent as a front three.
What, Wolves. That's
Wolves. Oh, Neves.
mm,
Raul Neves.
mm,
That would be a that would be a tasty, tasty central
would.
midfield addition.
They would. I was torn between the other Raul Jimenez and Pedro.
Oh, Pedro
Sorry,
Neto's good.
Neto.
Pedro
Well, yeah,
Neto's
he's
decent.
Pedro Neto, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
I was just really impressed by them. The last game of last season, fucking Neto was everywhere.
he is good as Neto. I
The
quite like Daniel
mosquitoes.
Podence as well.
Mm,
He's pretty decent. I feel like the Wolves are one of those teams where they should be okay, but they kind of need a bit more. Although they have just signed what's his name, Guedes from Valencia, who's a decent player.
mhm. I think there's another
Um,
cheeky one. Like, just going back to the FA Cup. Like,
yeah.
if they get lucky with the fixtures, I reckon they could be a team
Oh,
to.
Wolves.
Yeah, I do like them. I
Yeah.
like the manager. I like the way they play.
One final question before we bring this lovely podcast to an end. One final question. Do you think Liverpool need to add any players before the transfer window ends?
Uh, I think yes, a right back.
Yes, a right back so that
Yeah.
Trent can be
I'd
fair
not
enough.
to bang on about it, but forget midfield. We've still got Elliot, Carvalho. We've got depth. The one thing we don't have depth in is right back.
Yeah.
I know we signed that Calvin Ramsey. Didn't
Yes.
see much of him last year. Um, get out, sign the best right back in the world, spend 100 million, fuck it. Get Trent in midfield or even get him up front. And
Yeah. Hallelujah.
you will see how good he
Exactly.
is.
Exactly. I think, well, judging by what Leeds fans say, a left back and a backup striker, which I would go with. Although rumours are that we're signing Ismail Assar from Watford, which I think would be a good signing,
Yeah.
and that we're apparently going to get Juan Mata on a free, which I definitely wouldn't say no to.
Yeah, again, a good professional,
Yeah,
lots of experience. Yeah, can't
exactly.
go wrong with that.
Has won European trophies.
Mm.
So he's got that big club mentality. So hopefully we can get those across. But I definitely feel like a left back. I feel like our window's been good, and if it ends now, I won't be too disappointed in what we've done. But we can't rely on Joe Gelhardt to step in when Bamford's injured, and Bamford will inevitably get injured at some
Mm.
point.
Yeah.
It's Patrick
So
Bamford.
last word, Leeds, where are they finishing?
I would be very, very happy if someone offered me 13th to 15th. I'd take it. Hell, if
Yeah.
someone offered me 17th, I'd take it.
Yeah. Just stay in.
Yeah,
Stay in.
I'm gonna say 13th. I'm gonna be optimistic.
Okay.
And you?
Got to be number one. It's got to be. This team is too good. You
I think
can't get I'm not having it. I'm not getting 90 points again and not winning the league. Not having
that's
it.
yeah. It's
Not
very
having it.
annoying.
We don't have Klopp for much longer. We
Yeah,
need We need another 2 or 3 titles in, and a Champions League. I want that Champions League.
I think that's a good place to end it.
Yep.
All right. Well,
Hi,
thank
Josh.
you all for listening. Thank you, Mr. Michael. See you again next time.
Ciao.
Bye.